Dolph, thank you for inviting Christie's to Dunsborough Park. Can you begin by telling us a little of the history of Dunsborough?
Yes, Dunsborough was built really as a result of the dissolution of the monasteries. When Newark Abbey, which is about a mile away from here, was dissolved, the farmer who took on the lands built what was quite a simple house here. And right at the end of the 18th century, the Onslows put these two rather smart rooms on the end, which make it feel like rather a grand house when you're in it.
And when did you and Carolyn and your family first come to Dunsborough?
We came here in 1994. The house came with 16 plastic buckets, so we had to replace the roof, and we had an enormous project here in the garden.
Carolyn, could you start by telling us how you found the gardens at Dunsborough Park when you first arrived here?
Yes, they were in a very derelict state, and it's funny because I came here when it poured down with rain, but the moment that I saw the garden I fell in love with it straight away, and Dolph was in Maastricht and I summoned him back to come and have a look at this beautiful place.
And what was the major changes that have taken place?
I think we created rooms within the garden so the statues would get their own space, and trying to show people that they don't need a big garden to have the statues.
And what would you say is one of your favourite spaces in the garden?
I think it depends on the type of year, because they have so much different plants and different colours. So in spring it's the tulips and it's this part of the garden, and then you have the rose and the rose walk, and you have the water garden. And I think that's what's so wonderful about this garden. You have so many different parts.
It changes through the seasons.
It does, yes it does.
Dolph, there are so many wonderful lots in the sale. One highlight to start with would be the Blanchard group at the Gatehouse.
Yes, that's a fantastic thing. It's dated about 1854. It was made, I think, for a barracks in Alexandria or somewhere in Egypt, and then was brought back by the army when they pulled out, and ended up outside an officers' mess in Chertsey. It's fabulous because it's just like the old penny, with that fantastic lion and Britannia sitting aloofly and ruling the waves.
Did you always imagine it to be positioned as you came into Dunsborough Park?
Yes, it was the obvious place to put it. It sort of sits there and dominates that avenue of chestnut trees.
The bronze horse in the orchard is a very special, rare lot.
It's by the Dussel foundry and was done by a sculptor called Lecoince, who was an animalier sculptor, famous for the animals he did. I think it may be the horse Monarch, which won the St. Leger in the 1860s.
Code is clearly a great passion of yours, and the star lot within your collection, I would say, would be the lion.
The lion, I believe, was once on the Lion Brewery, next to the big lion, which is at the end of Westminster Bridge. It's a fabulous piece, with lots of movement, and he's got a very beguiling face.
There's a number of Dutch sculpture pieces in the sale. Some we know by Pieter van Bouwschmidt, such as the piece at the front of the house, the Goddess group.
They're fabulous. They're Bentheimer stone, probably late 17th, early 18th century. They were, when I found them, at a house which used to be one of the Dutch King William's hunting lodges. That will make the most fantastic top of a cascade.
The cast iron fountain in the grotto garden is a lovely highlight.
Well, all fountains are wonderful because they work incredibly well in gardens because they give a feeling of peace. If you've got any trouble with extraneous noise, it masks it beautifully. The thing which I love is being in the markets, finding things, having things brought to you, never knowing really what the next day is going to be. That's the thing that's been the joy of collecting. It's always the next thing that you buy, which is your favourite thing. You go on, and it's a sort of, it's a drug. The more you get involved, the more you want to have.